Welcome to Texas World, guys. It's been a while since we've been back at this racetrack, but we are back. And on the pole for today's race is Charles Sanford. Charles Sanford is one of the guys who has failed to finish in the top 10 or lead a lap all season so far. And Yamp Motorsports is now buying Coorweiser Racing engines in the Ford camp, so all the Yamp cars are inside the top 6 in the qualifying session here. Charles Sanford, Luke Martin has the front row, green flag is out. Coming to complete lap number 1, the Yamp cars upgraded to Coorweiser engines, and Louvier leads the first lap, and I think that might have been his first lap led of the entire season there. Further back, the racing is kind of hard here. On the inside here, moving their way forward, James Shelley, Michael White, Andres Allen, Vince Allen, Sean Harple there, Kyle Collins. The guys spreading out here. Jordan Davis, Jeff James, who's won a lot this season so far, Noah Hart, Nick Mace, James Sorofox, Sanford dropping back, Jake Bassinger, there's Sky Collins, Luke Martin moving his way up to second. Louvier, he has led before this season. Louvier, he's kind of been off and on, but right now, they're over there in the Yamp Motorsports camp over there. They're looking really strong. Jake Bassinger turning Sky Collins sideways there. Wow. That was close there. He was able to hold on to it, and I can't recall if Jake Bassinger and no, it was not Sky Collins, but Bassinger and I think one of the Coorweiser cars back over. No, it was Jacob Hart, I think. I can't remember, but Bassinger nearly got turned by somebody, and I think it was one of the Coorweiser cars back at Fontana. And that might have been a little retaliation there, but Dom Capps looks like he's got an issue there. Dom Capps, he has failed to lead any lap or finish in the top 10 so far this season. He's really low in points, 40th in the point standings, and we expected a lot more out of this camp here for Monster Energy Racing, and he's going to finish dead last. Yeah, as we're going back to a replay here, Dom Capps, he ended up blowing up there. That was what's wrong with him there. The engine just quit working on him there, and he retired on lap number 3. But soon later, Luke Martin would take the lead away from Chris Louvier, and I think caution flag is out, so we're going to get a replay of what the caution is out for. Here it is, what happened here. 4 wide off the turn number 2 here. Ashley Mace and Michael White, they kind of moved together. They're racing inside the top 20 there. There's Jordan Newman there getting a piece of it, and a lot more guys involved in it. There's Stephen Jenkins, Hunter Davis, Cody Lamas, Malik Nevins. Oh boy, a lot of guys on the bottom. Charles Jackson. There's Alan Cavanaro. Stephen Parr III, guys just trying to get good finishes here, and they was all involved in it, and that was what brung out the first caution of the day there. As the field gets set to go back in racing once again, Martin has the lead over Chris Louvier, Sky Collins, James Sorofox, Charles Sanford inside the top 5, Nick May 6, Jake Bassinger 7th, Noah Hart 8th, 9th is Eric Burton, and 10th is Nick Perkles. Ashley Mace has been doing very well this season, in being really consistent, and she has been the best car for Mace Enterprises, and I thought she was going to be the weakest link for Mace Enterprises because I didn't think she was going to be able to do very well. She came into this race second in the point standings, half a race behind Jake Bassinger, and this is not going to help her. 2 guys working their way up forward slowly here. Charles Sanford, one of the Yamp cars there, and the first Chevy guy of Nick Mace right there in the 48 Papa Murphy Chevy. Right there in the mirror as well, and back there in 5th is Sky Collins, kind of drop back right there. Noah Hart right there, he has not led at all so far this season. Jake Bassinger and his number 97 car there has finished in the top 5, or actually he's finished in the top 10 4 times out of the 5 races so far. Jake Bassinger is really consistent, and he hangs around in between 5th and 10th every race so far. I've noticed that. If he's not in the top 5, he's right around in between 5th and 10th. But right now, Luke Martin is right now where he was when he left off last week. This team right here does a good job of qualifying into the races here to make every race so far besides Las Vegas. Alan Cavanaro, That little team right there trying to get some money there. Ali Cavanaro led 1 lap out at Arkansas right there. It was their first ever lap led, and was actually meant a lot for that team. We got a little bit extra money there on the side there, but kind of sucks to see how this little team right here cannot get the finishes. Cooper Cyron in the number 77, and also Sean Perkins here. That team right there has not impressed me as much as I thought that they could have this season so far. I thought they was going to do way better than what I expected them to, but the only Audis in the field on the racetrack here, and I thought they would do better this season than what they have. Cooper Cyron being the better driver there. Sean Perkins has even struggled to finish inside the top 20, even the top 15 so far this season. I'm going to tell you something. The Fords have been impressive this season. Look at this. A Ford, another Ford, a Ford, a Chevy, a Ford, a Ford, a Ford, a Ford, a Ford, and then a Toyota, then another Ford, and then there's, I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's a Lexus. Oh, that's the only Lexus in the field as well. Monster Energy Racing being the only Lexus cars there. But, Kyle Collins, he's yet to finish inside the top 10 this season so far, and he's pushing on it to try and get Monster Energy Racing their first top 10 of the season. He has to pass Jeff James and Noah Hart to get inside the top 10, but Monster Energy Racing is still looking for their first ever top 10. Further back here, though, James Shelley and Sean Harpel, they've done really well to be consistent this season, but they're right now around right there 20th, somewhere in the 20s in points, being kind of really consistent there. James Shelley and Sean Harpel. Sean Harpel is finishing the top 10. He finished in the top 10 at Daytona. Sean Harpel, besides Daytona, they've not really finished in the top 10. And right now, they're running right now where they want to try and finish. The Sums cars want to try and finish in the top 20 every race, and right now that's what they're doing. Right now, a battle right here for second position's going on right here. Charles Sanford peaked low of his teammate, Chris Louviere. And here comes Sky Collins as well down the inside here. Looks like Louviere's going to get the spot here. Collins to the inside, trying to make it 3 wide. Mace up high, trying to get the advantage around Charles Sanford to take third. And they're going to run up on Cooper Cyron here. And Martin's going to be able to get the advantage there and get to the bottom side. And Louviere holds on for second. And Nick Mace goes on by for third. Battle for third going on once more here. Nick Mace, the only Chevy up here that is not a Ford up here. Man, Nick Mace, the only guy that is not driving a Ford that's up here battling for this win. Further back, right there around 10th is Noah Hart. That's the only other guy that's not driving a Ford up here in the top 10. Charles Sanford trying to get by Nick Mace there for third, but it's not going to happen. Mace holds on for third. Here's some guys that are doing kind of well, like I said here. You got James Shelley, the Sums car, is doing really well there. Ryan Acosta coming back here, trying to get a good run here. And also Michael White, who is not going very well. He's right now inside the top 20. And that's good finishes there inside. That's the top half of the field there. And Trek Togger for Blue Flare Motorsports, they've really struggled so far this season. Charles Jackson has been pretty much the better car there for most of the part there. But Trek Togger is higher than Jackson in points. And Togger, right now, running a pretty good solid finish so far. Coming around to take 10 laps of racing to go. The whole pack has shuffled Chris Louviere to the rear of this little pack. I think the lap traffic had a little bit of something to do with it. But Louviere is now down to 6. And now they got Nick Mace up here to second. And Nick Mace is just trying to bring Chevy to victory lane because nothing but Fords have won all season, not counting the events down in Daytona that did not get counted. Nick Mace trying to win for Chevy because it's been Coorweiser Racing has won 4 out of the 5 races this season. And then the other race that was won not by a Coorweiser car was Turner Fenway. And Alan Cavanaro's kind of in the way here. Is caution flag out? Yes, it is. Caution flag is out with only a few laps of racing remaining. It looks like an incident happened in turns 1 and 2. Richard Johnson, who was battling to finish inside the top 20 here. I think he got punted by Emma White there right up the racetrack. It was going to be a bump and run, but when Richard Johnson slid up the racetrack, Michael White was there, and it was a bump and run gone wrong there. Richard Johnson His hopes of finishing in the top half of the field there, and the top 20 is gone when he just spun around right there. Emma White kind of misjudged it there. Okay, guys, when we come back around, it'll only be 5 laps for racing remaining. Luke Martin, a Ford. Nick Mace, a Chevy in second. Then it's another Ford of Charles Sanford, another Ford of James Fox. Then the top 5 rounding out is another Coorweiser Ford of Sky Commons, a lap car. Then there's another Coorweiser Ford of Nick Perkles in 6th. Swagger Motorsports Ford car of Eric Burton, another Ford of Bassinger, and then there's a Toyota there, not a Ford or a Chevy. Then it's, oh boy, Nick Perkles, turn the number 99, and around they go. Noah Hart, Nick Perkles, Trek Togger is involved in it. Dylan Young is all involved in it there. Big wreck there, and that's going to bring out another caution, and that might end the race there. And racing back to the start-finish line, Luke Martin looks like he's going to take the checkered and the caution flag here. We might not have enough time for a restart, and Luke Martin looks like he's going to win back-to-back races for Coorweiser Racing here in Texas World. I'd hate for it to end that way, but it looks like it will. Luke Martin looks like he's going to win under caution here with an incident that happened on the restart there. And Jake Bassinger, our point leader, is involved in this. This is going to be a big hit in the points here. Nick Perkles is also involved in it. Trek Togger, he had a good top 15 run going there for Blue Flare Motorsports. A really good run there for him, and he was involved in it. Dylan Young got a piece of it. Noah Hart was inside the top 10 for Fuel Brothers Racing there, and he's involved in it. Wow. And then Louvier, he also had to come down pit road before, like, when the caution flag was out, and that he's going to not be finishing inside the top 20 there. Nick Perkles there. He's slowly, I think he might have a battery issue there. He's really slowed down now. But man, here's what happened here. Stephen Jenkins was really slow and Perkles ducked high, but he was there. And when Jenkins went back up the racetrack, there was Bassinger and Noah Hart. Then there was Trek right there as well. Dylan Young. Boy, Chris Louvier was really lucky there not to hit him. On board Chris Louvier. Now on board our point leader of Jake Bassinger. Trek Togger for Blue Flare Motorsports has not had a very good season, and running a strong top 15 finish goes to waste here. Well, guys, coming back around, we did not have enough time for a restart, and we're going to end on our caution flag. Leaving off where he left off at Arkansas, Luke Martin is going to capture his win number 15 of his career here, and holding off a strong Nick Mace and Yamp cars there of James Fox and Charles Sanford. This is going to be Charles Sanford's first time finishing inside the top 10 this season, but Luke Martin gets the win here for his second win of the season, and Coorweiser Racing's 5th win of the season out of 6 races so far. Coorweiser Racing is strong. Wow. 5 wins out of 6 races go to Coorweiser Racing. And only one other win went to another Ford car of Turner Fenway. No other manufacturer has went to victory lane this season so far. Chevy's not won at all. Nick Mason second. Another notable here, like we said, Charles Sanford. This is his first ever top 10 of the season here. He finishes inside the top 5. A strong finish for him. And then Kyle Collins gives Monster Energy Racing their first ever top 10 of the season for that number 4 car. Kyle Collins, who got fired from that number 9 team earlier in the season, got hired back from Monster Energy Racing over there in Fontana, and finally gets him a top 10 here. And it's also his first ever top 10 of the season so far. And back here, James Shelley, an amazing run for Sums Racing here. James Shelley, his teammate right there of Sean Harple at Daytona, finished inside the top 10. and they have not finished inside the top 10 since. And James Shelley gets his own top 10 here, finishing 9th. A great run for Sums Racing, finishing 9th right there today. But congratulations to Luke Martin on his 15th career win in the Sony Cup Series. Let's get you to your finishing results and standings after round number 6.